What's up? So first order of business is I'm going to answer some of these questions. I asked for video suggestions in my community section, and I got some quite a good some good feedback from it. Uh, so people had a few questions, so I picked a few of them to answer, and I'll explain those the best way I can. Uh, One of them, my guy hit me up on IG, and also in the community section. He wanted to know why do dreadlocks turn brown. A lot of people say that it's from the sun. Um, I mean, I think that the sun has some to do with it. I don't think that it's a as big a factor as people might think, because a lot of people with shorter hair, they're in the sun a lot too, and their hair doesn't turn brown. Or if you're like me, um, like this part of my dreadlock of my hair is brown. I mean, it's black, but my dreadlocks aren't. I mean, my this part of my hair is black, but I don't know. You can't really see it today because the sun isn't out as much. But if you can see it, I don't know if you can. Well, you'll be able to. Here we go. That's a good contrast. As you can see, my hair is black and my dreadlocks are brown. And you can see that they're brown all the way up until probably the middle, and that's where it starts to have some discoloration. All right. Same with this one. It's black all the way up until about the middle, and it starts the discoloration. Also, the sun is out, so you can definitely see it much better now. Right. Same with all of them are like that. So I think that it's just the old hair. It just turns it brown. For it just turns brown for some reason. Again, maybe the sun has some to do with it, but I don't think that's as big a factor as people think it is. Um, Also, I think other things might play a factor into it, man. Like if you use tea rinses, that may play a little part into it. Um, you know, just washing your hair and just over time, whatever you're washing down, that plays a factor into it. So I think all those things play a factor into it. But I've always thought it was interesting that um, your hair does turn brown. At first, I thought it was the sun. Um, but again, I think that the sun has some part in it, just not a biggest factor as I thought or as people may think. But it plays a factor, but I don't think it's the main factor. I think the main factor is just over time. That's what happens to hair, dreadlocked hair, that is. So that's my thought on that. Um, Someone asked, "Why do you have dreadlocks?" Oh, this is a good question. They were asking basically when you started, what was your reason for dreadlocks, and now that you're or me or that I'm about 4 or 5 years in, is my reasoning for keeping them or having them now still the same reason as when I wanted to first start? And I would say, yeah, for me, because I just started because it's just something that I always wanted to do, and um it wasn't really hard for me. It wasn't a hard decision for me at all. Um, it was just something I was just like, hey, I want to dreadlock my hair, and I want these types of dreadlocks, and um, that was that. So my reason is definitely still the same. It's just part of my spirit being who I am, and I just go with that flow. Um, has Rasta influenced you, or is it just a dread journey? Uh, I think, yeah, Rastafari definitely influenced me a bit. In a sense that because I would see these Rasta guys, and they would have these huge long dreadlocks, and all of them were different. So I used to see it, and I'd be like, yo, that's dope. But I never necessarily said, yo, because I seen those Rasta men with dreadlocks, I want dreadlocks like that. Again, it was just something that from a young kid, I would see various people, and I didn't know these people's walks of life. I didn't know if they were Rastas. I didn't know if they was whatever, I didn't know if they were from a certain part. I didn't know. I just seen them, and I would see them with their hair a certain way, and that always struck something in me. Like, I don't know if y'all can hear me. There's an airplane flying over, but that will always strike something in me, and I just did it one day. But I'm sure, seeing them, yes, that was some influence, I guess you can say. Dreadlock and Drug Association. I never, not that I know of, not to my knowledge, have ever. Oh no, I take that back. I take that back. You know what? I was actually out late one night, and I stopped at a gas station, and there was this guy out there, and he approached me, and he said, I like a lot of people do. They ask me about my hair, and I'm pretty sure he was like genuinely wowed by my hair, because he was like, "Yo, wow, man, how long have you been growing your hair?" Like, and he asked me how I got it like this and whatnot. So I told him, and then he was like, how did he say it? He said, "Hey, man, you don't He said, you don't have nothing on you, do you?" And I was like, I knew what he was talking about, so I was like, "Nah, man, like I'm not, He was like, oh no, what he said, "Man, I don't mean to disrespect you, but Then he asked me the question, and I told him, nah, man, because I knew what he was talking about. I knew what type, I knew what part of town I was in, so I knew what he was talking about, and and that was that. He walked away after that, but I'm not sure 100% if me having, him seeing the type of dreadlocks that I have, or me having dreadlocks at all, played a part in that. And that was the first time that ever happened to me, as far as someone seeing me and associating me with my dreadlocks being like this, and being a drug dealer. Uh, Again, I can't say for sure 110% if he indeed said, okay, because he has dreadlocks like that, or dreadlocks period, then I'm gonna, I can approach him like that. But we can put two and two together. So but that was the first time that was the first time and only time so far that has happened. Now, I don't know if people have, hey, maybe people see me walking around, and they in their heads quietly they associate me with being a drug dealer or something like that. So but look, there's a lot of things that can cause people to associate you with being a drug dealer. One of those things is just simply being a black man, So some people probably associate me with being homeless or being a bum, or associate with me with being a musician. A lot of people have asked me before, "Hey, do you do music?" And I look, I have no rhythm at all, like none. I love listening to music, though. I have a very wide taste for music, but I can't dance, I can't play music, none of that stuff. So, the meaning of your dreadlocks and the meaning of your locks and the spirituality behind them. Like I said before, I probably should remake this video. No, I probably should. I think I did it twice already. I'm not sure, but I know I made it way back in the day when I was first starting. Maybe I was like 2 years in or so, and it was like a bad quality video. I wasn't articulating well then. So maybe I don't know, maybe I might do it again, but I kind of touched on it in a recent video. But I'll do it again here. For me, it's not I don't view my dreadlocks as spiritual or anything like that, or I think the meaning behind my dreadlocks for me, again, it's just that it goes with my persona, it goes with my spirit, it goes with who I am. It embodies just me, and through my hair I express myself. And so that's about it for me. There's no spiritual. I mean, I'm hesitant a lot of times to even call it a journey. Because for me that's not what it is. It's just something that it's so natural for me that it's just easy, man. So I don't. It's not even something that I really think about, man. Sometimes I forget that that I have dreadlocks, man, and so but I don't see it as a spiritual walk or anything like that. And like I always say, nothing against the people who do think of their dreadlocks like that. Just in my world, I don't see it like that. So, you know, that's what it is. Um, but yeah, man, I'm gonna do a wash video probably maybe this weekend or so. Um, but I just wanted to come through and answer those questions, and hopefully I answered those questions to everybody's liking. Again, always welcome to video suggestions, and I'll try to push them out whenever I can. Thanks for listening. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for liking. Thanks for the comments. Peace.